Here we go. As soon as I go live to the dog, she's going to make her presence known, right? So gotta love it. Good afternoon, everybody. Actually, going to show you what I've got working for this evening, and I want you all to, well, just feel welcome. You can join us on what we have tonight. It's actually going to be a little bit of a live stream with a meetup. So in that, we're going to talk about deals. What makes a deal? How do you make the deal? How do you craft it? What does it look like? Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Can you make something happen? Under what conditions can you make it happen? So, with members of this of the school community that I've got going, the elite investor community, I encourage the members to bring these deals out, and then let's break it apart. Say, okay, this is how it works. This is what it looks like. So, I'm just going to show you kind of briefly, and I want you to understand that what I'm looking at now is a mobile home park. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be a mobile home park. It can be a small single family home. It can be a $20,000 house. If you just bring the deals that you're working on, we're going to work on them together to see what we can do to make that make sense. Okay, because not everybody's at the same level. Just like I still buy single family homes and I'm looking into more multifamily, looking for more mobile home parks, apartment complexes, things like that. Still not opposed to buying a single family home. Still not opposed to a duplex. Also, that being said, I've got people that I know that have thousands of apartments. So that's good for them. Just not necessarily what I do. The discipline to analyze those properties still needs to be sharpened time to time. And what I've got to tell you is nobody does well in an echo chamber. You have to have not necessarily opposing views, but people that see things from a different perspective to achieve the same goal. And that's really what I want the school community to be about. So let me go ahead and share with you what I'm working on right now. Now, again, tonight we've got a whole calendar of different events, but the event tonight is actually at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then what is it? Monday, I've got Real Estate After Dark. That's at 8 p.m. Uh, what is it? Wednesday, the 11th, I've got Jeremy Beeland from REI Freedom. He's going to be on stream, and we're going to be talking about some pretty cool things as far as how he's grown his business, what that looks like for him, and where he's growing. Now, let's go back into this, and I'm just going to kind of tease this with you a little bit. This property, I'm going to see if I can't expand these columns so that we can zoom. There we go. Now, again, mobile home park, 30 units. Here's where it's important to learn how to analyze the deals because when somebody is selling something, obviously they don't want to sit there and just say, well, it's horrible. You want to still pay full price? No, no, I don't. So let's talk about how we analyze this, how we kind of filter out some of the stuff, and what you might do to make that make sense. So here we have a mobile home park. It's got 30 units. Its asking price is $1.5 million. Now, let's see if the price is worth $1.5 million. This is actually a verbatim copy of everything that I've got in the deal that the agent provided me. And at the end of this, I'm going to also share with you why it's important to pick the right agent to represent your interest. So, that being said, let's just go ahead and calculate what the rents are on the as is basis, right? So you're going to see that there's a mix in this to where some are seller owned, some are tenant, and everything else. Typically, your tenant owned in a mobile home park, they're going to be a little bit lower on that because really they're just paying for lot rent. Now, whenever you're providing an owner owned mobile home in a mobile home park, you're probably going to be liable for, well, repairs, maintenance. Those things that are going to make the wheels go around in that property, so to speak. So obviously, you're going to make more in rent. Stands to reason, right? So, all in all, between the seller owned and tenant owned, it's going to make 13,275 a month. So why don't we just auto sum that? So we're looking at 13,275. Let's go ahead and do some math. So if we are 13,275 times, that's 159 300. Now, that being said, your 159 300, that's your gross rents without value. Okay. And we'll talk about these kind of things. We'll break it down. This is what I love about these live streams is that the people that actually, invest in themselves and they show up and they participate in these things, we have no problem kind of breaking down the lingo, the terminology that we use as we do these things because it helps you become better at what you do, which means that you're going to ask better questions, which means that we get better results. So it's a good cycle to be a part of. So if we're just going to go here and roughly give or take, whenever you're analyzing commercial, you want to go and back out about 30% to get to NOI, which is going to be your net operating income. Now, it's not necessarily a true NOI, depending on the performance of the park, what the occupancy is, and a few other factors. But let's just say, for example, that we back out a third. So it's 47,790, call it 48. Oh, 160 minus 48, because I just want to do some quick napkin math on this, right? So we're looking at a 112 NOI. Okay, so that's just a projected NOI. Now, what we have to do is we have to determine in a property like this, it's a little bit larger, so you're not going to use certain valuations like your GRM, right? Whenever you're using GRM, that's all well and good. But what you really want to look at is the cap rate, the capitalization rate of your money in a deal like this. So if we go in and we just kind of say 112, and to get the capitalization rate, you actually go in here and to get your capitalization rate, you go in, you look at the NOI, then you divide that by the purchase price, and that arrives at what's called your cap rate. Okay, capitalization rate. So for this, we're looking at right at a 7.5 cap rate, which eh, I don't really like that for this property because here's a few reasons why. And I'll go into more details tonight on the call. So I welcome you to go jump in, sign up, and you can learn more about it. Typically, with capitalization rates, you want to buy high and sell low. I know that that's a little counterintuitive to some things whenever you're sitting there saying, well, but they say stocks, you want to buy low, sell high. Well, capitalization rate, you want to go high, right? Because typically a property that's not stabilized, right, is a little bit more volatile, has a higher vacancy rate. Well, those are typically sold at a better pricing, right? So 14, 16 cap in D class. And then whenever you go in, you stabilize it, you can compress the cap rate, which means that you can bring it down and you can increase the value of that mobile home park or of that asset. And then you can sell it for a better price. Okay. So you're compressing the cap. That being said, you can't compress it too much because of debt service and a whole other thing that I'll go into later. So, but we're seeing this at 7.4 for an unstabilized high vacancy. Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say high vacancy. Let's just see. So right now you got 30, 29, 8, 7, 6. So four of, yeah, I mean, you're a little north of 10% on your vacancy. That's more than what it should be. So there's going to be some stabilization, but also there's some opportunity here as well. That's where we have to determine what makes sense for us. But let's just say that we want to get out here, and even if we wanted to buy it at a 10 cap, okay, that's a 1.1 million valuation to get it up to a 10 cap. Well, they're asking 1.5. What are the odds of them taking $400,000 off their asking price? Is it good? Will they do it? Well, there's more questions to ask and more data to be mined before you can really kind of dive into that. But that's what we're here for. That's why we bring these things together. So tonight I'm going to be going over not only this deal, but I'm going to hit a couple others. And I welcome people in the community to bring the deals that you're looking at. Few things that I want people to understand about that. You'll notice whenever I do this, I do not have all of the details, right? Because right now we're analyzing the property. And for that, we want to make sure that we don't give away too many details because once we find that deal, we don't want somebody to jump in there and say, "Oh, I'm going to go get it." Believe it or not, that's happened to me a few times. I've had people that, where I would have a package of properties and I would be wholesaling. I've literally had people go around me and contact the seller directly and try to get me cut out over something like a few $1,000s. It's kind of pathetic that people operate in such scarcity, but hey, that's who they are. And that's why I take steps to protect me and my investors from those things. Okay. So if you're interested in learning how to analyze these deals, how to analyze them live, well, then let's get into the call, right? I welcome you to do that. Also, I'm looking at doing a webinar, seminar, kind of all day event here in the next, I'd say probably mid to late January. Now it's going to be an all day kind of a thing. It's going to be recorded, available for playback. I will tell you, there's something to the pricing. It's kind of gimmicky, and it's probably going to be like, oh, why wouldn't I just join the community whenever you're going to charge more for the webinar standalone, but it's free to members of your community? That's exactly why I'm charging more. So I'll be charging probably between $25 and $50 for an all day ticket to this webinar. Or you can jump into the community and you can get access to it and everything else for the $10 monthly fee. Why would I do that? Because I want you to become part of the community and not just an outlier that's just going to take information and not do anything with it. So I welcome you again. Join in, come to the Elite Investor community for $10 a month. Okay, I know it's a steep thing, and it's a really hard price to pay. However, I promise you, if you don't get the value of at least $10 a month out of that community, I'll give you back your money with a blessing. Okay. Now, you got nothing to lose. You got a little bit of time that you need to invest, but if you really want to change your life, it's going to take that. You're going to have to spend some time. So I welcome you to join me at 6 p.m. tonight for the Let's Make a Deal stream. And I look forward to getting on there and seeing some involvement and, well, just kind of helping people connect the dots to where they can start doing this over and faster and better. That being said, I hope that y'all have a great day. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care.